Hello, it's Doris with Aldi Books. I'm here to film a reaction video to this year's BookTube prize. I saw Cousin from Always do this recently and it was so fun and I had thoughts. So I'm like, I want to do that too. So I'll link Cousins below if you haven't seen it yet. But yeah, I even have notes, a rarity for me to be organized with my thoughts. So this year, the BookTube prize has 3 categories: fiction, nonfiction, and new this year, translated fiction. I have signed up to do fiction, not fiction, translated fiction and nonfiction. So this first round for the octafinals, I got translated fiction. So I'll get to that. But I have notes. Let me go in order. So fiction. I had read 0 of the books on the long list for fiction, but a lot of them just captured my attention. I very much was intrigued when the long list came out. I did not write down the books that I voted for fiction for the long list. So what happens is Robert sends a really, really long list of choices for each category to the judges, and we can select 20 from each grouping that we want to vote for. And I probably could have looked up what I voted for, but I didn't feel like it. So, you know, but let's see. One thing, you know, off the bat that I noticed, I mentioned my goals for this year. I am really intrigued by Obama's favorites from 2021. I really liked that list. So I've decided to collect those, and I'll be reading them the second half of the year. And 7, well, there are 13 on Obama's list, and 11 of those made it to the BookTube prize list, 7 of which are fiction books. So I'm collecting all those, and these are the ones I have thus far. Actually, that top one was nonfiction. So I have Lauren Groff's Matrix, which I have been coveting for months. So obviously it was the first one the second one, we'll get to the first, grabbed off of his list when I got the opportunity to let myself do that. I started Fates and Furies when it was popular a few years ago and ended up DNFing it. Like, the first chapter, I thought her writing was gorgeous, but about halfway through, I was just like, they were just kind of self-absorbed characters, which, you know, is a trigger for me. And I just realized they were just being written one party after another and just did not hold interest for me. So while her writing was great, I didn't like the storyline and characters, so I just DNF'd it. But then I read her short story collection, Florida, Native Floridian, hello. It was gorgeous. Like, I loved it. Like, it's one of my favorite short story collections. So I was very excited, and the plot for this one, Matrix, just sounds great. Great with the I forget, 1500s maybe, but the woman that's sent to live in the, is it a monastery when it's women? Nunnery? I don't know. I haven't read it yet. So anyway, I'm not supposed to be talking this long about each book. This is going to be longer than I intended. And then Cloud Cuckoo Land. Oh my gosh, Anthony Doerr. And again, like, I read All the Light We Cannot See, and his writing is so beautiful. Like, there are a couple passages in there that to this day they're burned into my memory. They were so beautiful, mainly because they're the nature connection. But anyway, it was a little boring in parts. And I also read his short story collection, and it's also one of my favorites. I don't remember the name of it at the moment. It's probably, you know, but anyway, this one sounds so cool with the just quirky storyline. I can't wait. I can't wait. And then Crossroads by Jonathan Franzen. I had not heard of this. I don't want to say I'm less excited about it, but I mean, I am. Like, I'm intrigued to read all of these books and just understand them as a collection. But this one wasn't one that had been on my radar or one that I would naturally gravitate toward, but I'm excited to read it nonetheless. The other thing I noticed about the fiction long list is that there are quite a few big name authors, like 16, 17, 20, like, you know, I'm sure that people that are more in the know, like Steve Donahue would, you know, I mean, and how do you categorize a big name? But there were just a lot of authors that jumped out to me that I was like really familiar with. So of those, the three that like, I mean, I would want to read all of them, but you know, you can't read them all right away at least. So the three that jumped out at me that I was most intrigued about were Miriam Taves has one on the list. Ruth Ozeki, this is one I was delighted about. I really, like, Joe and Heidi have read all the Ruth Ozekis, and I'm kind of having FOMO about that. I loved this book, A Tale for a Time Being. So, excited to see a Ruth Ozeki on there. And then Richard Powers has one on the list. The Overstory. This book didn't hold together for me in the second half. I still liked it. I liked some of the threads of stories more than others, I guess. But the first 150 pages read like short stories, and they're just stunning. Oh my goodness. And the nature writing, you know. So I'm excited to hear more about that. And then several books popped out that were already on my radar that I've been like wanting to get to that one. I feel like you can't see both my hands. I'm talking with them. So with that, Burnt Sugar, The One-Armed Sister, Matrix, Cloud Cuckoo Land that I already showed you, and Love Songs of W.E.B. Du Bois. Like, yes, which is also on Obama's list, by the way. So those are the ones that I was like immediately excited about because I knew I was already excited. And then as I glanced through, I love that Robert has that graphic with all of the book covers because that's really intriguing to me as well. I love the art aspect of publishing. So the ones that jumped out at me from that list, and like if you know anything about these, please leave comments below because I haven't researched them yet. But The Trees, I know that that's been popping up a lot here recently on BookTube. So that one has me intrigued. And then a couple that the covers just got me were China Room and The Chosen and the Beautiful. Like those covers were like pulling me in. And then the one where the title grabbed my attention was Everyone Knows Your Mother is a Witch. Like, I'm so intrigued by that. So I'll probably research those a little more eventually, but what I'm really excited about with the fiction long list is like the first round videos popping up in a couple months and hearing people's thoughts on all these books. Very intrigued, very intrigued. Okay, so nonfiction now. Nonfiction, I had read 3 before the list came out. So A Ghost in the Throat, unpopular opinion, I didn't really enjoy that one all that much. I mean, it was fine. Beautiful, beautiful writing, but just, I don't know, something about it. Maybe it was a little too navel-gazy or something. It just didn't connect with me personally. But then the other 2 that I already read, Diary of a Young Naturalist by Dara McAnulty. Oh my gosh. This kid wrote this when he was like 16, 17 and had it published when he was like 18, 19. Brilliant, 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 gorgeous piece of writing. I really hope this goes through to the end. It is so very good. So very good. And then Crying in H Mark by Michelle Zahner. This was an insta-buy for me because of the Poptimist, as was Cloud Cuckoo Land. Like, he can insta-buy, get me to insta-buy like no other. I don't know. But I really enjoyed this as well. Also on Obama's list, by the way. And then Aftershocks is the other one from the Obama's list that I've purchased thus far. So that's that. Now, I did keep a list of the nonfiction. Not the full 20, but I actually wrote a list. Like, that long list was so good that I wrote a list of 12 books that, like, I wanted to read regardless of whether or not they made the long list, the octafinals. And I am pleased to announce that 11 of those 12 books went through. And then I remembered the other ones I voted for. And so I believe 19 of my 20 that I voted for went through. So go me. The one that didn't go through was the one on the Jimmy Carter presidency. I'm a Jimmy Carter fangirl. My dad liked him, so I like reading Jimmy Carter stuff, but I'll pick that up eventually. The one that I was like really just tickled that it went through was 1,000 Years of Joys and Sorrows. That one is like by, I think, a memoir by a Chinese artist. I just never imagined it would go through, and it did, and I'm like, yeah, I'm pumped. There were two from Obama's list that didn't make it through. I don't know. I think they were on the long list. I'm not sure. Beautiful Country and Invisible Child, both which look fabulous. So I don't know, friends. You missed out on those two. There are a couple that friends have reviewed that I want to get to. Empire of Pain is everywhere right now, and everyone says brilliant. And then I've seen a couple people mention All In, the Billie Jean King autobiography, so interested in those. The thing that stood out to me, like, immediately, and that I was thrilled by, was that there were like at least 10 nature writing books. 10. That's like good statistics right there. Happy freaking day for the nature writing. And then 5 more medical books, which is also a punch button for me. So I like the sciences. So to me, that's like 15 of the hardcore sciences, at least. And then there were 3 more books about killers, and that's kind of like psychological to me. So bump it up to 18. Like, this is my wheelhouse. I'm just thrilled. And so into 2 months, I'm just gonna be like, oh, are the good ones going through? Please, please, please. I like the science. And last year there was just such a dearth, is that the word? There weren't enough science books on the long list. And as they got voted out, sad day. So y'all, science is so awesome. It is. Lots of memoirs and essays, which I also enjoy. So I'm really excited about this nonfiction list. I feel like there were pushing 30 books that I'm super excited about, and not many that I'm not interested in. So I think it's gonna be a great year. I don't know, I felt like last year, like, I was so excited about the BookTube Prize the first and second years, but last year publishing felt a little lackluster to me. I don't know, is it just me, or was it the mood I was in, or was it a thing? I don't know, but this year's making up for it. This year is just freaking awesome. Okay, so finally, back to translated, which I am judging for the octafinals, translated works. I had read 0 of those and had not heard of many of them, but I'm pleased to announce that 18 of the 20 I voted on went through. So I was pretty pleased with myself. Like, I did such a good job. I researched all the books. I took notes of all the books, like the ones I was interested in. And I was going to show you my notes just to prove it to you. Oh, there they are. They're in pencil under that quote. But yeah, I did. I researched them, so I was just really tickled that so many went through because, you know, I put effort into that. And the group that I got, I'm in G, I believe. And my number 1 most interested in book was Strange Beasts of China. And it's in my group. Yes. And I was able to find 5 of the 6 books electronically with my library. So I've already started reading them. First one out of the gate, I was delighted with, and going good with the second. Like, I'm really enjoying this. It's so fun and a little different than usual with the translated, like the concentration of it. So I think I'm just gonna crank them all out. And 5 of the 6 books are under 250 pages electronically, which is even shorter, if you know what I mean. Like, if you read ebooks versus physical books, ebook pages are shorter than physical book pages. So I'm getting it done, and it's fun, and it's just delightful. So yeah, I think that's it. I will maybe I'll read you my list of the 12 that I was super interested in real quick before we leave. And I think I'll probably have a cat video to stick on the end if you're still here. I can always find a cat video for you. Anyway, here are the 12 that I wrote for nonfiction that I gotta read these. 1,000 Years of Joys and Sorrows, a memoir by A. Weiwei. A Little Devil in America, Notes and Praise of Black Performance by Harif Abdurraqib. Chasing Me to My Grave, an artist's memoir of the Jim Crow South by Winfred Rimbert. Graceland at Last, Notes on Hope and Heartache from the American South by Margaret Wrinkle. She's so good. She's so good. On Animals by Susan Orleans. Super excited about that. Orwell's Roses by Rebecca Solnit. I have not read of Rebecca Solnit, and this one is nature writing somewhat. It's going to be good. The Amur River Between Russia and China by Colin Thubron. The Black Church, This Is Our Story, This Is Our Song by Henry Louis Gates Jr. The Codebreaker, Jennifer Doudna, Gene Editing and the Future of the Human Race by Walter Isaacson. I've heard great things about that one as well. The Outlier, The Unfinished Presidency of Jimmy Carter by Kai Bird. That one didn't make it. These Precious Days by Ann Patchett, another Obama. Under a White Sky, The Nature of the Future by Elizabeth Colbert. It's going to be a good year, friends. Thanks so much for watching. See you soon. Bye.
Play ranks too much. So I can move on to silver. Yeah.
Oh, how the mighty have fallen. He's just a little marshmallow guy.
Drew's making the play. He's making the calls right now.
You love it, don't you?
Intermission review. Oh, kitties. Hello, it's Doris with Aldi Books, and I'm here to do a reaction video to the Hello, it's Doris with Aldi Books. I'm here to film a reaction video for the BookTube prize. I saw Cousin from Always Doing, what the hell? Hello, it's Doris with Aldi Books. I am here